The Polk County Sheriff's Office is always looking for a few good men and women to join their ranks, and here to talk to us about that today is one of their recruiters, Patricia McCutcheon.
Yes.
And she's here to talk to us a little bit about their Florida State Certified Bonus and the Dual Integrity Scholarship Program that you guys run, and trying to recruit some of that new talent to come into Polk County and help fight crime. So thank you for coming.
Again, my name is Patricia McCutcheon. I've been with the agency for now about 24 years, and I've had the privilege of working in the Department of Law Enforcement, which is most people know as our deputies. And I've also had the privilege of working in our Department of Detention, which is more so notable for our correctional officers, or our detention deputies as we classify them. And I've worked alongside the men and women in both departments, and it's been very rewarding, very eye-opening, and it's given me an opportunity to learn, on a bird's eye view of what these men and women encounter on a daily basis. And it's truly helped me to understand that it has to be a labor of love, that they are making a difference in the lives of the people that they are coming in contact with. And at our agency, we've had the privilege of having a Sheriff Grady Judd, that sees the importance of giving back and making it as possible for people to live their dreams. And therefore, him and his team of helpers have developed the Dual Integrity Scholarship Program that we offer. We've been offering that now since about 2000. I think our first class of that was 2010, when it was first implemented. And so far, we've had very good results with the program.
Well, now, you work as a recruiter, correct?
Yes, I am.
Well, what is that like? First off, if you don't mind me interrupting there, that, the Sheriff's Office is one of the top law enforcement agencies in the country.
Yes.
Going on its 9th accreditation that I don't think any other organization has that many. And, Sheriff Judd runs a pretty tight ship over there. What's it like trying to recruit? I mean, already one of the top in the country. Doesn't that kind of sell itself?
It's very exciting. It does give, make our stars shine a little bit brighter in comparison with some of our neighboring agencies that, we have a lot to brag about. But it doesn't mean that we don't face our share of challenges when it comes to finding great talent who are suitable for the positions, such as deputy sheriffs and detention officers. We face our fair share of challenges, and therefore it makes my job, the task a lot of challenging, but at the same time, rewarding, because, it takes an elite group of individuals to assume these roles that we are asking them, these duties and functions and responsibilities that we are requiring of them. So it's very exciting because I get to travel a lot throughout the state, and on occasion, out of the state, to meet people, to answer their questions, to dispel any rumors or myths that they've heard about law enforcement in general, as well as our agency. And it's not many places that I have not gone where they have not heard of our esteemed Sheriff Judd.
He's pretty well known.
Yeah, he's very well known. And it's a great pleasure to just educate individuals on, number one, what our government agency is all about. Some people only have one perspective of a law enforcement agency, and that's being, a person that carries a badge and a gun and make arrests or put their lives in danger. But I get to also share them the many other facets of our agency. We are a full law enforcement agency, and we have various careers outside of law enforcement and detention. So it's very rewarding for me to do this job, and that the sheriff trusts me to go out and to present the agency in the most positive light so we can attain great talent.
Well, I know you guys have all kinds of opportunities over there in various facets between both corrections and the deputies, and working your way up through the ranks on that side. Now, if you can, talk a little bit about the Florida State Certified Bonus and the scholarship program that you guys are offering.
Currently, the sheriff just recently implemented a $2,000 bonus to individuals who are currently Florida State certified. For instance, if an individual who works for maybe the Department of Corrections, which is a Florida State-run facility, and they would like to join our agency, they would qualify for that $2,000 bonus should they meet all of the qualifications. There are other agencies within the state also that fall under that umbrella. For instance, like your Florida Department of Transportation, Florida Highway Patrol, your Fresh Fish and Wild Game. Those officers are state certified, so if they would like to join our agency, there would only be a few things that they would be required to do that goes in line with our application process, but because they are already certified in the state of Florida, then they would qualify for that $2,000 bonus. They would receive $1,000 upon hire, and once they complete their annual probation, which is 1 year, they would receive the remaining $1,000 of that $2,000 bonus.
Does that also go for police officers? Because I know they have to go through a state certification.
If their agency falls under a state certified, for instance, if they're in the current Florida retirement system, most local municipalities don't fall under that umbrella.
Okay.
They have their own retirement system, but there are a few out there who are in the Florida retirement system that might qualify for that. So if they are in that state Florida retirement system, they would qualify.
Okay. With the dual integrity scholarship, if you can talk a little bit about,
Yes.
you know, what all does that entail? And that's mainly for new folks coming in that haven't been certified before, correct?
Correct, that
Okay.
is correct. That program was designed as a result of there were a lot of individuals that were already correctional certified or detention certified in our agency. And at the time, the sheriff, they were allowing to those individuals who wanted to cross over and to go into law enforcement, they would sponsor them and pay for them to become law enforcement certified. So the sheriff decided, well, instead of doing that, let's just go ahead and pay for the certification, the tuition cost, for them to become dually certified, which means it gives them the designation that they will take a portion of the course that will allow them to be correction certified in the state of Florida. Once they complete it and pass an exam, then they move on to the law enforcement portion of the program. They'll take that portion, complete it, and take a state exam and become law enforcement certified, giving them a dual certification. That means they possess 2 certifications in the state of Florida. They can either operate in corrections, or if they choose to, they can operate in law enforcement. And once they go through the program, which is approximately 8 months at Kenneth C. Thompson Institute of Public Safety out at Polk State College in Winter Haven, once they go through that 8-month program, we then turn around and we hire them at our agency, and they have to commit to working 2 years in our jail facility before they are eligible to go to the road as a deputy sheriff. They're not required to go to the road, but at some point during their career, they can work in the jail 5, 8, 10 years if they choose to. And then if they say, well, you know what, I understand the dynamics of how this works now. I have confidence that I can be just as effective on the road as I am in the jail. They no longer have to go back to school because they already have that certification.
Okay.
In the past, you would work and then you'd have to go to school, try to, get it all worked out, and then you become certified. But now we're doing that up front for them.
Okay.
And the sheriff is footing the bill. He's going to pay the tuition costs for that dual integrity scholarship, and he's also, on top of paying the tuition costs, what comes with that is they'll receive $2,000 in a stipend each month that they are in school, in training out at Kenneth C. Thompson Institute of Public Safety. They'll get that on top of the tuition cost that is being paid for them.
And the tuition's about another $2,000
Yes,
as well, isn't it?
correct.
Okay.
And so, it's a great opportunity for individuals who've maybe thought about, this is something I've always wanted to do, but, financially, I just could not afford it. This is a great opportunity for them to obtain their certifications in corrections and law enforcement, on the sheriff. We'll take care of that for them. And not only that, we're going to give them $2,000 on top of it, and then we're going to turn around and employ them where they will now have, access to other benefits that come along with being an employee of the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
Sure. Well, now, what is the process that you have to go through to get to that point to getting the scholarship? I imagine something like that's going to be quite attractive to folks.
Yes.
So I imagine there's an interview process, things
Yes.
like that. what do they face when going through that? What are those steps?
The steps are, in my opinion, are fairly simple. It seems very complex because we are asking for a lot of information. But what I would like for the viewers to understand is we are a law enforcement agency, a government agency, and therefore the pre-employment process is going to be kind of rigorous, but very doable. And we're not asking them to do anything that's not out of reach. So the process begins with simply by going to our website, polksheriff.org, and going to the careers tab. And there we'll find instructions on the application process, which starts with a pre-screening application, PCSO Form 102. They simply download that, print it out, complete it along with a questionnaire. They submit that information to us. When we obtain it, that lets us know that they are interested in employment with us. And from that point, we will run a preliminary background check on them, check their driving record, check to see if there are any criminal charges out there that could prohibit them from moving forward. And once they get through that clearance part, then we schedule an appointment for them to come in and sit with us face to face to have an initial interview with one of our employment placement specialists. They come in and we interview them, and we're just basically asking them why they want to become law enforcement officers. We want to get a feel for who we're dealing with up front, and we'll review their full application, which everybody says is really long. It's about a 10-page application. They get that completed. We go over it with them to make sure all of the I's have been dotted, the T's have been crossed, and then we go on to schedule further appointments for them, which consist of, in addition to your application, they have a psychological exam. If they're applying for law enforcement or detention, they have a psychological exam. They have a polygraph examination that we administer at our office. They also will have, a physical agilities test that they will be required to pass. We also have a firearms familiarization course that we require all applicants such as that to go through. They go out to our gun range, they go with our trainers, and
So you don't need to know ahead of time how to shoot or anything
right,
like that.
You don't
That's
necessarily have to know, but they want to see, how comfortable you are, if you're close to the target, or if it's going to maybe require you some additional training to get to the point to where we need you to be. So they do that in advance as well. And then they have, again, the physical agilities test that they're required to run. It's kind of like an obstacle course. They have to get through that phase. Urinalysis test, they're subjected to that as well. And then again, there's another interview that they may be subjected to as well if they get through all of the preliminary testing. And one of the great things about our agency, unlike maybe some others, is we foot the bill. We pick up the tab for all of their pre-employment testing. They don't have to pay for anything out of pocket. So some agencies require you to pay for certain testing in advance, but we don't require that on any of our applicants for any of the positions they apply for. We take care of all that for them. So they just have to be prepared mentally and physically and believe that this is what they want to do.
All right.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. We sure do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And, again, if anyone else would like to apply, my name is Patricia McCutcheon. I'm the recruiter. And you can contact our human resources Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, 863-298-6440, and we'll be glad to serve you.
Well, if you'd like to take advantage of this opportunity to work at the Polk County Sheriff's Office and become a deputy or a corrections officer, then get a hold of them at polksheriff.org. On their website. You can follow the instructions that you've heard here to learn how to go through that application process, or you can call them directly at 863-298-6440.